If you've watched my Virginia Highland vlog tour and you really want to know more nitty-gritty details about the Virginia Highland area, this is the video for you. I'm going to do a full map tour, just pointing out where the shops are, where roads are, parks, etc. And I'm going to also throw in a little tip for you. If you are searching for homes in this area and you really want to be in this school system, there's a couple of pockets where it's actually not zoned to the Springdale Elementary School. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, if you have not subscribed to my channel already, I'd love if you would hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so you can be one of the first to be notified when I do publish a new video. But without further ado, let's get into the map. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty details of Virginia Highland. So here we have Virginia Highland in this, it's outlined here in this red. I've already crossed here. This is Piedmont Park, so very close to walk to for most people that live in the Virginia Highland area. You have Midtown right here. Let me make this line a little bit thicker. You have downtown right here and a couple other big points. So, you know, a lot of people work over in Buckhead. That's right up here. Getting to Buckhead from Virginia Highland it's kind of weird. When I try to explain how I get over there and or to get onto 400, it's like not a very just straight way to get there. There's most people will take like Monroe. You'll go up Monroe this way. You'll get on kind of like a feeder road and then pop over this way onto 400. Other people might take, you know, if you live over here, you might go up. Let me scoot in a little bit more. You'll go up here and then you'll pop onto Lenox Road and you can kind of get over to 85 this way and get onto 400. Or if you're just trying to get onto 85 north, if you're trying to head out of town, you could get on by Lenox Road as well. So just not like straightforward ways to get there. Now, if you travel a lot and you go to the airport, which is down this way, let's zoom out a little bit more. So the airport is right here. And honestly, like when I go to the airport from Virginia Highland, it's only a 15 to 20 minute ride. Even when I think there's really bad traffic, it just doesn't take very long. You can hop on Freedom Parkway, which let me zoom in on that. So Freedom Parkway is right here. And you can hop on here and really easily get onto 85, 75 south. The pain point from the airport is really when you're getting back into town and you're trying to get home. So if you're trying to get up this way, for whatever reason, 75, 85 going into town, even on a Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock, it can be backed up right here. This is kind of like a bottleneck. And if I'm really impatient, I just can't handle the traffic, I will sometimes detour and get over here and eventually weave my way over to Moreland. Actually, Moreland's right over here, and come up the back way. Now, a couple of these neighborhoods down here are a little bit very transitional, so it's a little interesting down there, but you know, in a pinch, I will go that way. So the next thing I will show you is just like the fun stuff of Virginia Highland. If you watch my vlog tour, I pointed out, you know, a lot of the restaurants and the shops. So let me just show you where all of that is. I'm going to skip over to this map so I can zoom in. But here you have Virginia Avenue and North Highland. That's really the main area where all your restaurants and the hub of Virginia Highland is at. So you've got Murphy's, which is a great continental type of restaurant, lots of good food. If I zoom in here a little bit, you know, they have some great cocktails. They have a good wine menu, and they're also good with kids. You know, kids don't have the longest attention span at restaurants, and Murphy's, their staff is always very accommodating, and it's a good spot. We take our kids there at like 5:30, that type of dinner crowd, but Murphy's is always great. Great brunch spot too. It's always packed there on the weekends. If you like ice cream, we got a couple of ice cream spots. Morelli's ice cream right here, and then let's see if it'll pull up here. Paolo's Gelato is right here across the street. It says temporarily closed, but I'm rest assured it's open. But they have fun little ice cream. You can see some of that right there. It's making me hungry right now. Other options. So there's a new spot that just opened up right next to Paolo's. A couple of them actually. There's Pieland, which it's not popping up here. It's a pizza place. It just opened, so I haven't even been there yet. But there's also this Academy Coffee that is also part of Kinship Butchery, I think that's what it's called. But there's like a coffee. It's a coffee house, but it also has like some fresh meats and some produce cheeses that you can get here as well. But I've tried their coffee, and they have some good selection there. So that's kind of a new place in the Virginia Highland area. They also do a farmer's market on Thursdays, like in the summertime, and that's right here, kind of in this parking lot, right next to Farm Burger. And then, we got a Taco Mac, which it's not a taco place. It's really just like, burger sandwiches. I think it might have some tacos on their menu, but when I first moved here, I thought Taco Mac was like a taco place, but it's really not. If you're really wanting carbs and you got a sweet tooth, Kelly's Hot Little Biscuit, right there on the corner. This is owned by Callie. I forgot her last name, but she's on the Food Network sometimes and also has a shop over in Charleston, South Carolina. Great biscuits for, if you're wanting to take something to work and share with coworkers, or, just for a weekend breakfast spot. They've got sweet and savory. You can kind of see some of their biscuits here. Really good stuff. But if you're not feeling like biscuits, you can go next door to this Donut Dolly's that just opened up. They have some really good fresh donuts. There's also Barbacoa, which is kind of like a tapas type of place. And then La Tavola is another good restaurant that's been in the neighborhood for quite a long time. Really good fresh pasta and wine. Now, it is a very small restaurant, so if you want to make a reservation, make it weeks in advance because it fills up, mainly just because they don't have a huge space. And then moving on up this way on Highland, you got a couple, Dakota J's has been here for a while. It's a clothing shop for mainly women. Have a lot of, they try to keep up with the styles and the trends, so they change out their inventory quite often. But that's Dakota J's. There's a bookstore. We've got Moe's and Joe's and George's Bar. So these are two popular hangouts for getting a burger, watching a game. So you'll see those places packed on game days. Very popular. There's a Highland Woodworking, which I can't speak knowledgeably about this, but they, if you're into woodworking, they have very specialized tools and things, which I know nothing about, so I won't talk anymore about it. But if you're into woodworking, check it out. There's Perk Coffee, another cool new coffee shop that is hit Virginia Highland. And there's like a running group. I know that they meet up at Perk at 6:30 in the morning on Tuesdays, and they'll go run and then have some coffee afterwards. There's a Paper Source, which, fun stationery type of stuff. There's Highland Eye Boutique. I go here for my optometry. Moving up the street, a couple more blocks, you're going to get into a really good Thai restaurant. If you're into Thai, check out this Molly. They have a lot of, my husband loves this going here, but we get takeout from here quite often. But they have a good selection of Thai food, really fresh ingredients. And then there's also another coffee shop, Apotheos, and right next to it, it's not showing up here, there is a post office. There it is, post office. So it's really nice. I walk here when I just need to take a break from work and go mail something. I can just walk here. There's a DBA barbecue. There's also a taco place, the Original Taco, great for, simple taco, quesadilla, margarita type of thing. So that's kind of it. Well, actually, there's more restaurants if you go a little south. So we're getting closer to, here's Ponce right here, but there's the Atkins Park that's been around for quite a while in the neighborhood, and it's kind of like upscale bar food. They have a great shrimp and grits plate. I like their pulled pork sandwich. And there's a couple other little restaurants. This Ocean Wave sushi place. So there's a couple of other little options right around here. So that's kind of the overview of restaurants. Let me go back over here where I can scribble a little bit more. If you're wondering, where do I do shopping, that kind of thing, grocery stores, just general items. So I'll point out some of those grocery stores. So you got Publix right here on Ponce. This is Ponce right through here. There's also a Kroger right here off the Beltline. There's a Whole Foods market right here. There's also a Home Depot. So this is kind of a big shopping center right in here. I will say though, on the weekends, this place gets crowded. It's just, there's kind of just one way in, one way out. So it gets pretty backed up during especially the weekends. Ponce City Market is right here. So, if it's a nice day, it's not a bad idea to just pop on the Beltline, which is this red line right here. You can walk over to Ponce City Market. Now, if you're on the Beltline right here, you can't just go to Whole Foods Market through this back way. There's no access point. You have to go all the way down to here and then loop around into that shopping center. And there's a Starbucks over there as well. And then, if you're wanting to do more like Target type of shopping, there's really not a Walmart. If you're a Walmart person, there's really not a Walmart close by. You have to kind of go over to North Decatur if you want to get that. But a lot of people will go over to the Edgewood Shopping Center, which is right. Well, I'm going way too far. Let me zoom in here a little bit. So right here, here's a Target. There's a Lowe's. There's a Best Buy. There's a Bed Bath & Beyond. There's a Kroger. And so a lot of people will head over here, it's located over in Edgewood. It's pretty easy to get to. You just hit Moreland. This is Moreland right here. You go through this little 5 Points area, and then the Target shopping center will be right here. The only problem is that Moreland can get really backed up, especially on a weekend. This can be really slow going right in through there. And in fact, one of your bottlenecks that you're going to find is right here. Let me change the color. I'm getting a little crazy with my drawing here, but this intersection, let me zoom in a little bit more. Moreland, where Ponce hits Moreland, this area can get really congested during the peak travel hours, after work, before work. But, and Ponce, De Leon, let me make this a little thicker. So remember, Ponce is kind of like a neighborhood highway. It kind of stretches from Midtown and it goes all the way down. You can take it over to downtown Decatur. This way, let's see, right through here, and you get down into downtown Decatur. So it goes a long way, but this can also really back up, during those peak hours. Same thing if you're on Briarcliff, this road, it just backs up a lot because people are trying to get home from work or just get across this intersection. This light is just, it's just one of those lights where you can never get enough cars through, right? As far as schools, where those are, so I've kind of outlined them here. Springdale Park Elementary. I didn't spell that correctly on my map here, but Springdale Elementary is right here. If you live in the area, I see some parents walk their kids there. You do have to cross this busy Briarcliff Road. They also have, they're using a part of a church, this Metro City Church, for the kindergarten space, because they're just kind of out of space here. So they're using this building for the kindergarten. My kindergartner goes there now. I actually kind of like it because it's a nice kind of way for my kindergarten to get used to, you know, a real school system, but not be overwhelmed that the building's super huge or anything like that. So that's the elementary school. Middle school is a little further south. Trying to erase some of this stuff so it doesn't confuse you if you're not confused already. Delete some of that. Delete. Okay, so the middle school is kind of more like by Old Fourth Ward and Inman Park. It is right here, this Howard Middle School. Now, if you're comfortable with it, you could let your kid walk or ride their bike to school using the Beltline access, which is nice because they're not on the busy roads and with traffic, but this is the Beltline that I'm drawing here in purple. And they could literally get off here off the Beltline, ride one block over, and then, yeah, the school is right there. And to continue that line of the Beltline to see where it goes, right here. So it keeps going up, and then you're coming right into the Virginia Highland area right here. So I would say it's probably, you know, if you're taking the Beltline, maybe two miles at the most, you know, at the start of the Beltline right here off of 10th Street. Speaking of 10th Street, here is the Midtown High School right off of 10th and across from Piedmont Park. So pretty great location. Your kids can easily walk home following Virginia Avenue. And this is, yeah, Virginia Avenue, and then they can get on their way to wherever they live in the neighborhood. But yeah, the Beltline keeps on going up this way. It turns to gravel once you cross 10th Street. This part is unfinished right here. But it does head up over into Ansley Park, and there is a little section in Ansley Park that is actually paved. But that's another thing in terms of grocery stores. I know I mentioned the Kroger and the Publix, but there's also more shopping over in the Ansley. It's called Ansley Mall. And let me zoom in there. So here's Ansley Mall. And there is a Publix right here, and then my map is covering it, but there's also a Kroger right there. So a couple more options for grocery shopping. There's this Richard's Variety Store, which has some fun gifts. You know, if you need like a toy or something for a birthday present, you could come here. There is an LA Fitness right back here. It's not pulling up, but there's an LA Fitness, so if you're looking for a gym. There's also another gym I should point out called Urban Body Fitness, and it is right by the park. It's right here. So if you go to Amsterdam and take a turn here, there is an Urban Body Fitness right here. So another gym there. There's Loca Luna's, a little tapas place. So there's a few little shops in there. And let's see, park. So I have mentioned in my vlog tour, there is John Howell Park, which is right off of Virginia Avenue. So it's right here. The playground equipment is getting a little bit worn down. We've just used it a ton, which is a good sign, right? But there is also another park called Orm Park. It's a little further north, but very pretty area. It's just south of Amsterdam. And there's some playground equipment right in here, some swings. Some people drop off their old toys for other kids to use. And there's also like a little hiking trail back there. So I see some people walking their dogs back there. Amsterdam is kind of like the cutoff, though, of where it turns from Virginia Avenue into Morningside. And I will say Amsterdam is a very long, gradual hill. So if you like to run, I would suggest running down this way. It's a nice downhill, but if you go this way, ooh, it is a long, steady uphill. So when I'm jogging, I will definitely be jogging this way. Just a little side note. But here's a tip, though. You know, if you are looking to move into this neighborhood and you want to be in the good school system, here's a tip I want to give to you. If you look at homes that are located kind of in this little pocket right here, you know, a lot of people will say, oh, this is Virginia Highland or it's Morningside, but homes that are located right here in this purple circle that I drew, and even a little further north, this little pocket north on Briarcliff right here, these areas are not zoned to Springdale Elementary or Morningside Elementary. Rather, they are zoned to Briar Vista Elementary, which is not a really top performing school. So pay attention to that. There's also homes that are zoned to Fernbank Elementary, which is a good school, but it is a little further away. So the Fernbank, Fernbank School, it's actually not too far from this. It's right across the street. So the Fernbank Elementary School is right there. If I zoom in, will it? Yeah. So I'm kind of scribbling over it, but this is the Fernbank Elementary School. So it's not that far, but when you have to consider that you have to take into consideration that you're driving on Ponce and that gets slow moving, then it can be kind of a pain point if you're dropping your kids off at school every day. But there are school buses, but I have heard that, you know, if you live here and you're wanting to send your kids on a school bus, they come really, really early, like 6:30 early, which is not really ideal. A couple other little hints I will give you, you know, if you are looking for homes in Virginia Highland, there's a couple of streets, which I mentioned in my vlog tour as well. This Greenwood Avenue Street, this St. Charles Avenue Street, and even parts of, you know, like this Rosedale down here. This has a lot of multifamily homes, so like condo buildings, and there'll be some single family homes mixed in with these on these streets. But you know, if you're one that you want a single family home but you don't want a bunch of condos right next to you, you know, don't be looking on these streets because it's full of condo units, and the streets are pretty crowded too, just because of everyone needs to park their car somewhere and there's not enough parking spaces in the condo units. They will park on the street, so these roads tend to be pretty cramped with cars. But one other thing I'm just thinking of is, you know, if you're wanting to get onto the Beltline, the easiest access points are walking on Virginia Avenue, and there's a spot right here you can access. And then also on Greenwood Avenue, there's a spot right here that you can access. And I think there's a new access point off of this Drury. There used to not be, but I think there is now. But most people just enter off of Greenwood. There's a nice big entrance there. So, okay, you guys, I think I've scribbled all that I can on this map. And I've covered a lot of the nitty-gritty details, covered some of the bottlenecks. You got one here. And it's just kind of weird how you get on, you know, if you're wanting to get on 7585, like you're going to Marietta, the easiest way probably is going to be heading down 10th Street, and then there's an access point right there. Or, you know, if you're near Ponce, you can get onto North Avenue real quick, and then there's going to be an access point to get on 7585 this way. But okay, I think that is it, you guys. Hopefully this helps you kind of know the ins and outs of the Virginia Highland area. But, you know, as always, if you have any questions, you can shoot me a text, give me a call, send me an email, or put those comments in the comment section below. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, you guys, I'll see you later.